There's so many experiments that are possible. An experiment is nothing more than a fair test.
Would it be a fair test to see how far a fishing lure could cast if this guy did the 1/4 ounce lure and the smaller guy did the 1/8 ounce lure? Of course not. You need to have the same person casting with the same rod, same reel, with the same line, in the same direction. The variable you're testing for is the weight of the lure. All other variables need to be held the same. If you're interested in snow machines, you can test the airflow around the machine at different speeds. If basketball is your love, we can test which arc gives the best percentage on a long shot. If you're interested in hunting, you can test which camouflage pattern is least visible in your location. If you're interested in sledding, you can test which posture gives the longest ride down the hill. If you're interested in cross-country skiing, you have to experiment which waxes glide in different conditions. Experimenting with waxes is part of that sport. Remote signal. Will it bounce off a mirror? Go through a stuffed toy? Go through your hand? Go through your little brother? If you're interested in hair design, do experiments with different kinds of hair and their response to different kinds of dyes or permanents.
When I was in grade school, I had froze my tongue to a flagpole, and I wondered why that had happened. And well, when I was in junior high, I had decided to do a science project on it. I took a towel and I shaped it in the form of a tongue. Inside a warm house, I had plastic, metal, wood, and glass, and I tried the dry warm towel in the house on all 4 things, and it didn't stick. I tried it outside in cold weather, a dry towel on all 4 things: wood, plastic, metal, and glass, and it didn't stick. I wet the towel inside, and I tried it on all 4 things, and it didn't stick. I tried a wet towel outside in cold weather on the plastic, it didn't stick. On the glass, it didn't stick. On the wood, didn't stick, and on the iron, it stuck, and it froze, and it froze very hard, and it pulled a lot of the cloth off. And that brought up a question, and that's why I did my science project on why does your tongue stick to the flagpole. Okay, later in life we had a cabin, and we had a propane bottle out there, a 28-gallon propane bottle, and we were getting water. My son was helping me get water, and his hands were wet, and he touched the propane bottle, and it froze solid. We couldn't get it off. And we knew what to do. We laid the propane bottle down, we dumped a lot of hot water on it, and were able to pull it off.
Judges don't like words like better or best. They like you to measure. Measure with a tape measure, measure with a thermometer, measure with a stopwatch. They like measuring. They like graphs, too.
We did an experiment to determine which skip more, flat or round rocks. That was easy. We just counted the skips. Drum tension can be determined by dropping a marble and measuring how high it bounces. GPSs measure speed. Speed down the hill isn't hard with this inexpensive handheld model. Often students want to experiment with exercises that increase reaction time. Let the test subject grab a yardstick when it falls. Measure how far it falls before being grasped. The tide is going out. Set up 2 cones and measure distance apart. Record the time it takes a drifting object to travel from one cone to the other. Then do the math. It's not hard to test the relative amount of salt in ocean water with an ohm meter.
Projects need to be doable. Save the Dolphins is not doable.
We control none of the variables influencing northern lights. However, magnetism is fun to experiment with. I had a high school student who was interested in forensics. Lacking a dead body to experiment on, we let her test the rate of burn of different gunpowders. She learned the difference between rifle and pistol powder and was quite interested.
My dad's a trapper and he always said campfire coffee tastes the best.
So I planned to do an experiment. The Iditarod dog sled race came through McGrath. So I made 3 pots of coffee: campfire coffee, percolated coffee, and drip coffee. I put them in containers and marked them A, B, and C. When the dog mushers came in, I let them sample my coffee. After I tallied up my results, it was a surprise. They couldn't tell campfire coffee from percolated coffee. No one favored the drip coffee. I also had them guess which coffee was which, and again, they couldn't tell campfire coffee from percolated coffee.
I think my dad loves campfire coffee because he loves being outdoors.
Well, that's it for now. The folks at COSI and I hope to see you at a local or a state fair.